What's up to Lion Talk Live? So we love you too, buddy.
What's going on, guys? It is Aiden Hutchinson.
What's up, man? It's your boy Amon-Ra St. Brown.
What's going on, Coach Dan at Lions Talk Live and the Duke Crew. This is Ball Hawk, Fatima Lafano of the Detroit Lions. Everybody make sure you help support the YouTube channel Lions Talk Live by clicking that like and subscribe button. Let's get it and go Detroit.
Greetings and salutations to everyone out there in YouTube land. This is Dan Skipper, offensive weapon for the Detroit Lions. Make sure you all help support Lions Talk Live and Coach Dan by clicking on that like and subscribe button. Everybody, woo!
Well, greetings and salutations, everybody out there in YouTube land. I am your host once again, Dan Thornton, and I want to thank you all for joining us here today. Hey, it's Lions Talk Live. OTAs are underway, and I think we got a whole lot of stuff to dive into. We're going to have Kurt the Hitman Steele join us special today. I know normally it's a Friday for him, but because of the main topic today, I want to get his thoughts on this. I want to dive on in and have a conversation with somebody, let alone the Duke Crew, and see what you guys have to say. Brad Holmes, though, according to Vegas, might just be one of the elite GMs in the NFL, and not just for the Detroit Lions franchise, but maybe in the NFL overall, maybe in the history of the NFL overall. We're going to have to see what you guys all have to say about that. But, hey, let's be honest. We all know this thing. Casinos aren't built on losing money. They're built on winning money. And once again, Vegas is going to speak a lot about it. Remember a few years ago when the Lions traded out number 6 and picked up Laporta and Gibbs. Hey, Vegas was pretty spot on with their analysis of that Lions rookie class. And it seems like they're pretty spot on with each of them. That's why I wanted to make it the main topic of the day today, because of the history they have, Las Vegas, with predicting who's going to stand out, who's not, yada, yada, yada. It adds a lot of validity to what we'll dive into momentarily in the main topic of the day. I think it's great news if you're a Detroit Lions fan, and I'm sure there'll be some interesting conversations in the comments section about it. Real quick, before we get into the 5 headlines now, before we get into the main topic today, you guys probably know the drill. If you haven't yet subscribed to Lions Talk Live, please consider doing so. We are 32 subs away from hitting 13,800. So if you can assist with that, I would be very, very thankful. Also, if you have a free second of time, it doesn't cost a dime. Reach on down, hit that thumbs up button, hit that like button, hit every button out there. Hey, as you probably know, if you watch YouTube for any length of time, helps all content creators out. So whether it's my channel or somebody else's channel, if you enjoy watching that channel and the content they create, just understand how much you're helping them simply by hitting the thumbs up button. We try to get every episode of this channel or these shows between 200, 300, 400 or more thumbs up or likes. So if you can assist with that, hey, that would be awesome of you. Great way to start my day. Last but never least, if you are considering buying or selling property anywhere in the great state of Michigan, let alone the continental United States, go ahead and give me a call or shoot me a text. You see the number on the screen, 269-998-2384. We can have a quick conversation, what I can do to save you some time, save you some money, take away some stress. Maybe one of the more important things there. Make sure nobody's overcharging you in regards to any aspect of the transaction. This can be for homes, vacant land, commercial property, anything in between, fallout shelters, survival shelters, barn dominiums, anything really out there. If it's involved in real estate, go ahead and give me a call or shoot me a text. All right, with all that done, set out of the way, let's get this show a rocking and a rolling and a going, and starting it off with, as you probably already knew, 5 headlines now. All right, we got a whole lot of headlines today. We might even have a bonus one for you today. Lions predicted to trade for Browns 161 game starter, 7-time Pro Bowler to bolster line. A sporting news story by Bryce Lazenby. Hey, I'll say this. I think there's about a 0% chance this headline actually hits. And the reason why is the Lions drafted 2 very good rookie guards. We already knew they had a good rookie a year ago at Christian Mahogany. So this story kind of goes through a number of different things the Lions could do. But, hey, we also get it. You got a bunch of young, inexperienced rookies or players on the offensive line for the Lions. Corey Woodruff for the win recently. That's a publication out of Ohio area that covers Cleveland. Joel, boy, I'm going to kill his last name. Bitonio. Hey, I get it. Bitonio, he's been in the league for like 10 or 11 years. been a Pro Bowler, been an awesome guard, interior offensive lineman, however you want to word it. One, do I think the Lions are going to try to trade for him and bring him in-house and now have one of these prized guards sit around for a while? Probably not. Between Miles Frazier, Tate Ratledge, Christian Mahogany, I think you got at least two starters there. Maybe Graham Glasgow emerges as a starter. Either way, you got two sound backups. So where would Bittino, or however I murder his name, how would he fit in? I don't think he would, especially at this point in his career. If he was much younger, maybe. But I think the Lions, based on their past, how they've handled things like this similarly in the prior seasons, I do think they're not going to make a trade with the Cleveland Browns or anybody else unless there's a massive wave of injuries on the offensive line. But it is a headline, so it's the offseason. We'll see where it shakes out from there. All right, next to the 5 headlines now. First look, Aiden Hutchinson wearing leg sleeve, SI.com, story by John Macron. We all get it. If you were paying attention to social media yesterday, it ran wild. There was about 50 gajillion Lions Talk Live followers, and thank you for this, sending over the videos. I know Hutch Jr., I know my brother Tim, and a bunch of you guys also send it over to me. You can see Aiden Hutchinson putting on the helmet, go on the field, even doing some stuff. Remember, it's OTAs, so they can do 7-on-7, 9-on-9, 9-on-11, but they can't wear pads, they can't go full go, but they can go through some basically walkthroughs and light practices, etc. Hutchinson's out there, looked pretty dang good. He spoke to reporters. He's excited to be back. He wants to have a monster season. He's said, and I'm paraphrasing all of this, how he's missed the game. Once he's had something taken away, now you want it more. We all get the mantra. Hutchinson's coming in with a very workman-like approach to this season. He wants to prove anybody out there that thought maybe he would lose a step or maybe be slow to recover or whatever it is, that's now not going to happen. He's going to come in guns blazing, looking to have the best season, according to him, in NFL history. That's his mantra. That's where he wants to go. And you know what? Let's face it. He's got all the skill and ability to do it. If he's really right as rain, gets back up to speed by week 1 of the regular season, maybe this guy does come out and have the kind of production he was having last year before the injury. Whatever it is, it's just good to see him back on the field. And yes, this guy has got a fire under him, chip on his shoulder, whatever you want to say. He wants to take it out on the other teams. All right. Lions could get bargain with free agent signing to begin June. Fan side story by Devin Plantina with this one. Hey, could it be? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But offensive lineman Will Hernandez to begin in June. Lions lost several key veterans this spring, including starting right guard Kevin Zeitler, who joined the Tennessee Titans. We all get it. Want to stay closer to home, family, yada, yada. Although they did bring in, as the story notes, Christian Mahogany, who I do think will be the starter. The story also does point out Tate Ratledge, Miles Frazier. Everybody thinks the Lions are going to add more depth to the offensive line. That's what I could say. But look at the current roster. Not that the story can't be right. Just my personal opinion, you've got such depth already on the offensive line. The team's more than likely going to keep 9 people on the offensive line for the 53-man roster. I don't think anybody else is going to make it other than the guys that are here unless somebody comes in and just really knocks the cover off the ball, dunks it home, whatever analogy you want to say. Could Hernandez or somebody else make it? Sure. I just don't think it's going to happen, especially at the guard position, because we seem so overloaded there. Now, that also being said, maybe somebody could make it like Jamarco Jones or whatever as a backup tackle. But understand in OTAs yesterday, we've already talked about it during the rookie camp, you've got Tate Ratledge getting time or some snaps at center and guard. You got Frazier getting snaps at guard and tackle. That's probably a big indication. There'll be another headline that we have here this morning that ties into all of this as well. All right, next to the 5 headlines now, in case you missed this yesterday, Texans coach DeMarco Ryans confirms joint practices in Detroit with the Lions this summer. Jeff Risden of Lions Wire with this one. Jeff gave some good news, and a lot of other people reported this yesterday. I'm sure there's 50 gajillion people out there. This is a nice matchup for the Lions because we all remember the game last year. Texans are pretty dang talented. They've got a lot of good stuff about them. They got a mobile quarterback as well, a quarterback who can be mobile. That's how I would like to refer to him. Either way, you've got 2 very good teams. They're fairly evenly matched going after each other. We also know the Miami Dolphins Lions are going to do some works, etc. These are 2 good teams, in my opinion, for the Lions to kind of get right with practice some things, get on the same page offensively, defensively, because both these teams have some talent. The Dolphins, we all get it. They've got a heck of an offense. Not a bad defense, but their offense is pretty nice. And the fact that your defense gets to go up against that for, basically 5 days, that's awesome. Same with the Texans. That defense, we want to find out, really, can it kind of recover from last year? These will be two very good teams to test it out against. Same with the Detroit Lions offense. You want to see if you work on some new wrinkles, some stuff. You want to make sure you're doing it against quality competition. I think this is a great win for the Detroit Lions in the preseason, which will lead into the preseason games. And we do have 4 of them this year to try to get right. All right, next 5 headlines now. Giovanni Manu, quote, holding his own heading into second season. Detroit Lions on SI, story by Vito Chirito. So we talked about the offensive line a lot in these 5 headlines because let's be honest, you have some flux there, maybe more than any other spot on this team. There's some opportunities for some of these younger players we've invested so much in recent drafts to really emerge. We've been talking about it for about a week and a half now. There's a ton of reports, including from Taylor Decker and Penei Sewell, that Giovanni Manu is looking like a guy who is completely different than a season ago when he was drafted. This report or story kind of confirms that. If you go out there and watch it yesterday, and again, a lot of these are happening in non-padded, non-physical contact, non-demanding situations, but just being a coach, watching it from the sideline, whatever they're doing as reporters, they're watching the techniques, you're listening to what the players have to say. All reports are very positive about Giovanni Manu. He might just be the heir apparent for Taylor Decker, and I think Taylor Decker knows that as well, which means Penei Sewell would stay at right tackle in the foreseeable future. Either way, though, wherever he plays, at the point when that emerges, it does seem like Giovanni Manu, who we all get, is a massive human being, incredibly athletic, powerful, all that stuff. It might just be one of the bigger moves that the Lions have made in their history to pick somebody, develop them, and then get a huge return on them. We all get the story with him, coming from British Canada. We all know that Broderick Martin was, also drafted because of his athleticism and traits. But Giovanni Manu might be the one that actually shines. And a year or two from now, he might be one of the starters on the Lions, maybe even getting some snaps this year. All right, bonus headline here. 12 players to watch at Lions OTAs. Detroit Lions on SI.com's Christian Borer with this one. So we're going to go through this one quickly because we do want to get into the main topic today, and we do have a special guest today, Terrion Arnold. Arnold was a day one starter for the Lions as a rookie. We all get it. As the year went on, he got better and better, less penalties against him. What we can say is there are high expectations that he will make the sophomore jump or leap, however you want to term it, this year. When he does that, if he does that, this Lions secondary, we've got the best safety combo out there. Amik Robertson proved his value last year. DJ Reed, we know what he did in over in New York. If he brings that over here, then Terrion Arnold's ascension would really make this secondary pretty scary. All right, Zach Cunningham. This guy, in my opinion, from everything I can find out about him, because I'm not going to lie, I didn't know a bunch about him before a couple days ago. He's great against the run. He's not good against the pass. Can he actually come in and compete for a starting spot? Potentially Alex Anzalone, you guys all get it by now. He may sit out. He may get traded. He may get a new deal. Until that resolves itself, Zach Cunningham, at the very least, is in the running to try to take over a starting spot for Lions. Will he do it? I don't know. Ahmed Hussein, we're going to be talking about him during the main topic today. Continues to show that he is quickly growing, developing, doing different stuff. And this is from a multitude of reporters that have watched the kid in rookie OTAs and then the start of this week. But there are growing expectations for this kid. We'll dive into it more in time. Hendon Hooker, real quick here. Is he going to rise to this occasion, or is he going to get beat out by an incumbent for the backup spot? There have been some reports. I know some in the comment section have pointed this out. Hey, maybe he just doesn't pick things up quickly. I don't know, man. I've liked what I've seen out of him. I also would have liked to have seen more out of him last year, but I also get the coaches wanted to mostly do handoffs and take knees. Aiden Hutchinson, is he healthy or not? I'm going to summarize with that, because if he's healthy and fully recovered, then you know what? He's going to be an impact player. There will be a number of you guys in the comments section, especially Attila the Hun. Glad to hear this one. Ian Kennelly, Sounds like he's doing pretty well. We all get there's not as great a depth at safety, at least it doesn't appear to be, I should say, as perhaps some of us would like with that spot because we got depth across the board with this team. Ian, though, sounds like he's doing a real good job picking things up. And don't forget, he is a big safety who can motor and fly around to the ball. Grand Valley State product, shout out to them. Christian Mahogany, is he going to win a starting spot? Last year, he appeared in 3 games, really in earnest, I should say. And hey, he had elite level grades in 2 of those 3 games. The other one wasn't elite, but it was just about elite. This guy's got high expectations would be the way to put it. Giovanni Manu, not going to go about him too much. We just talked about him. Broderick Martin, hey, he was the developmental kid that everybody wanted to get in that draft. It's put up or shut up time. If he doesn't put up this year, he's probably done so. Isaac Tesla, we'll talk about him during the main topic today, so I'm going to move on. Sion Vaki, is this kid going to emerge? Is he going to challenge for the number 3 running back spot? That'll be one of the bigger things to watch. Tyleek Williams will be the last one we talk about here. This kid's come in, and probably a lot of Lions fans when he was drafted didn't have high expectations or really, kind of like, we got him. He's a good player, but didn't really have any kind of energy behind that draft pick. That being said, he's getting that, leg healthy, the hamstring. There are more and more people starting to think that this guy might just be one of the bigger hits for the Lions when it comes to the regular season because he is fairly special with his abilities. All right, we're going to move on from that and get on over to the main topic of the day. In case you didn't see the thumbnail or everything else missed you, Vegas has talked about the Detroit Lions. Vegas has offered their thoughts on the rookie class, and if it's anything like the past when they've been predicting the Lions rookie results, they've been pretty spot on. Of course, that is why they're Las Vegas. So let's go ahead and dive into it, get into the main topic of the day. All right, when the Detroit Lions went into this year's draft, probably most people would have said not high expectations for rookies. They come in, they compete, maybe they earn some backup spots, but really when you look at the structure of this Lions team, it may end up being the deepest, talented, most rich team that any of us have lived to see, unless you want to go back to the 1950s, whatever. I love some of those 1990s teams, but you could argue there maybe wasn't always the greatest depth at certain spots. That doesn't appear to be the case this year because I think you've got everybody battling for spots. With all that being said, Las Vegas last night or yesterday, whatever, late yesterday, put out their thoughts on rookies across the NFL. Detroit Lions obviously had some guys, so let's walk you through it. Tyleek Williams is predicted, and hey, Vegas did predict there would be one Lions rookie in the conversation for Rookie of the Year. Let's see if you guys guess who it is. Tyleek Williams, they're predicting 27 pressures, 4 sacks, 25 tackles, and 7 tackles for a loss. Not a bad rookie year for a interior defensive lineman, if you ask me. Tate the Great Ratledge, 1,000 snaps, 21 pressures allowed, 4 sacks allowed. Not bad for a rookie. Here's one. Isaac Tesla, 35 receptions, 401 yards receiving, 5 touchdowns. Not bad. Let's see. Offensive lineman Miles Frazier. 355 snaps, 15 pressures allowed, and 3 sacks. 15 pressures allowed and 3 sacks. All right. Ahmed Hussein. All right. Here we go. 44 pressures, 7 sacks, 30 tackles, 9 tackles for a loss. Let's see what your thoughts are on that one. Dan Jackson, 78 special team snaps. 8 special teams tackles. And Dominic Lovett, 13 receptions for 34 yards. All right, we'll go with that. So from there, I guess you could say, if you probably don't know it by the numbers, let me point it out to you. Ahmed Hussein is predicted to be in the Rookie for the Year conversation. I'm not sure how I feel about that, but you know what? Vegas is a lot wiser, a lot smarter, and let's be honest, they've got a gajillion people that get paid to analyze this stuff. And these people, that's all they do for a living. They know everything about everyone. They know the 15th cousin from your mom on her other, whatever side, did this or that. And they break it down like that. So if they are right with any of these numbers, I think we're all pretty happy with the rookie class, especially since they're more than likely going to get limited snaps. But what do you think about the thoughts about him saying? The kid, hey, he's got all sorts of energy, all sorts of promise. And I think, in my opinion, if when he gets developed a little bit more, maybe in a year or two, he could be something. He could be a starting defensive end for the Lions or somebody else in the NFL, I guess, if he would have been drafted by somebody else. But to put him in any way or shape or form, and they don't say he's going to win it, just that he will be in the conversation for Rookie of the Year, I think that's just going to add to the freight train that you guys get it, I get it, that's already behind this guy. The hype for a late round pick is so huge, and I can't believe it. But you see everything on tape that any coach would want. The guy's willing to run through a wall for his team, his coaching staff, or whatever. He's just happy to be there, and you see that on the field. You're seeing the OTAs, and I get it, he's a rookie. That could fade away in time. But right now, here's what you do know. Is there going to be a guy that shows up more every day in practice, OTAs, preseason, regular season than this guy? Probably not. You're going to struggle to find somebody that can supersede his energy and aggressiveness every day. Now, if he can come out and put anywhere near those type of numbers, I think everybody who had any questions about this rookie class, that's probably donezo. Williams, if he's anywhere near the numbers suggested with him, those are pretty nice numbers. Same with the, Ratledge, Frazier, heck, each of them, because it means each of them made the team one. You're making the team younger, cheaper, and more talented, more athletic too. This rookie class is pretty athletic. But if Ahmed Hussein comes in and puts up any of those kind of numbers, the pressure alone on this guy seems to be mounting. But I don't really think he's going to be impacted by it in any way, shape, or form. All right, you heard me ramble on about that, the 5 headlines. Now let's get over to you guys. We've got about 8 minutes until Kurt the Hitman Steele, the professor himself, steps on over. So let's get up to the mic and see what you guys have to say. Michael D, greetings, salutations, coach and Duke Crew, exclamation point, one pride, woo, and back at you. Bo, good morning, Duke Crew. It's going to be a really good year, exclamation point, woo, and I think more and more predictions are kind of suggesting the Lions might be one of the better teams in the league. And, not that we all wouldn't predict that, but I like seeing more and more people who aren't Lions-based predict that as well. Drake, my prediction for other teams this season, Payne. Hey, nice Mr. T reference. Bo, I love it when a plan comes together. Who doesn't love it when a plan comes together? Let's see, Robert, greetings and salutations, one and all. Same to you. Kerry, good morning. Dan and Duke Crew, good morning to you. France, good day all. No, no Lions related, but this Diddy case. Wow. All the people connect to it. Shake my head. Some of the stories coming out there on the stand. Yeah, and I don't pay attention to that stuff. Jen, the wife, she does, though. And, yeah, she's, like, enraptured by it. She's listening to whatever podcasts, giving the daily updates on it. I don't know. She kind of talks to me about it, and I kind of zone out. Not going to lie. I mean, it doesn't impact me, but I'm sorry for all those affected by it. JK, Vegas gods are lying at first sometimes. We'll find out. I don't know. Let's see, Mike the Marine Gunny, howdy, Dan and Duke Crew. Woo! Back at you, Gunny. Good to see you. Bo, will Zach Cunningham make the 53-man roster? Oh, man, I think the linebacker spot is going to be one of the bigger competitive spots on the team. I mean, he's great at one aspect of the game, and that is shutting down the run. He's, in my opinion, from what I know, what I've watched, he's not very good against the pass. And it's just my anticipation that probably gets him cut from the team. But, hopefully he makes it. I hope everybody makes it, but obviously not everybody will. Trey, what's good, everybody? Question mark. Yeah, France, the whole lot of people are going down. Some dads giving away their daughters to get up in the world. Yeah, and say, I did see that about just because Jen mentioned to me about Steve Harvey. I'm not even going to get into that, man. But what he allowed to happen to his 13-year-old daughter. That's let's see, Jess, greatest salutations, Duke Crew. I think he does if AA is gone or holds out. Bo, really hope Brad and Dan figure a way to work with AA. Yeah, at the end of the day, I think that's what we're all hoping, is that all parties just come together, kumbaya, figure it out, make everybody happy, find some kind of middle ground with Alex Anzalone. JK, all my bet money used to go to Panera, not no more. All right, fair enough. Robert, has anyone seen Dan O? Hey, it depends on which Dan O you're looking for. Anymore, good morning, Dan, Coach Dan and Duke Crew. What a team. What a podcast. What a time to be a Lions fan. Woo! And thank you, and good to see you this morning, Henry. Robert Damas, all right. Damas, all right. Dan Damas, he has not been around in a bit. Gary, Bo Booth, in my opinion, he will be in a rotational piece. Could be. Yeah, could be. Zach Cunningham, could be. Stephanie, good morning, boys. Exclamation point. Would Cunningham even start for us? Question mark. I don't know. OTAs are here, and it's nice to see Aiden back on the field. I think a lot of Lions fans were happy yesterday to just see him out there running, going through things. Yeah, good to see him back, and hopefully others come back relatively quickly. Hookadoo, good morning, Duke Crew. Oh, yeah, exclamation point. I'm going to go with Ahmed Hussein as the rookie of the year. Hey, wise thinking there. Seeing him on that phone call on draft day with MCDC, I was like, this dude has some heart and grit. He does, man, 1,000%. JK, morning, Steph. Damien, first time I made a live in a while. So what did Vegas have to say? Question mark. Woo! And now you'd know. Stephanie, good morning, JK. About to drop the kids off. Hey, get them to school. Carrie, practice squad is going to have some quality talent this year. You could argue last year, maybe the last few years for the Lions, that practice squad, or whatever you want to call it, it's been one of the better ones in the league. Bo, I still have to go with the Bo plan, man. He's been cut, but he could be back, as we all know. JK, kiddos first, Stephanie. There you go. Tori, Vegas makes big money, right? Who could be up for rookie of the year? Question mark. I don't see any of the picks having a large impact. That would be my thoughts too, but you know what? Again, they've got a whole bunch of people looking into these things. Brett, my thoughts also, Tori. We'll find out. Johnny L, good morning, everyone. And same to you, Detroit D. It's about that time. Road to the Super Bowl. Go Lions. I like the way you are thinking. Let's go to the Super Bowl and win it. Bo, OTA's training camp. They all have to Narfel the Garlock. Yes, and thank you. I did get your message yesterday about the cone hats. Let's see. Five Fingers Ready. Good morning, Johnny and Duke Crew fam. We are too deep and tailed rich for a rookie to break out like this unless there are injuries. Who did they say could be up for it? And that would be Ahmed Hussein. Brent, Bo Booth, if Anzalone is somehow traded, it's Davenport's fault. Probably true. Brett, no! Exclamation points. Bo, no. Quentin, great salutations, y'all. Man, I'm telling ya, all Tate about to be that guy, bully ball on the offensive line. Hey, the Tate Ratledge, he's got that kind of reputation. If he does become one of the starters, I have no doubt he'll be a very physical presence in the middle for the Lions, whether it's at center or guard or wherever he plays when he gets snaps. Pierce, Brett DeWitt, no to Davenport, yes to Ahmed. I'm down with that. JK, you lose Anzalone, you're losing Davenport as well, then you're losing depth. Correct with all the above. JK, Pierce, Hookadoo, you're on the same page as me then, Pierce. Pierce, JK, it was a topic of discussion yesterday that Anzalone could be gone. Yes, and could it happen? I don't know. I hope it doesn't, but let's be honest, it's at least in the conversation right now. Susan, hello, Duke Crew, exclamation point. The better the rookies are, the better the bottom of the depth charts will be for us. That makes us so much deadlier. I like the way you're thinking. Yes, the better your depth, the better every aspect of this team will be. Special teams, the backups, pushing starters to be better, all the whole shebang bang. Trim Reaver, good morning, Coach and Duke Crew. Woo! Back at you, and good to see you this morning. Johnny L, I'm beginning to think that really don't like Davenport. Yes, some people don't like Davenport. Hookadoo. I say Pierce, Hookadoo. On the issue, I believe we are in the majority. There you go. JK, I know. Gary, Jack Campbell will have a heart attack if he has to do Anzalone's job. Might be true. Attila the Hun, Davenport, odd on Vegas leader for comeback player of the year. If he does have a real strong year, he could be up for, I could see, comeback player of the year. There'll be a lot of Lions because of the injuries that could pop up on that list. Johnny Pierce, Johnny L, favorite Lion ever. JK, if Davenport stays healthy, whole season, I'm going to shoot my foot and be happy of. Okay. Let's see. Brent, Hutch, comeback player of the year, exclamation point. Oh, yeah, he could be on that list too. Johnny, laughing out loud. Let's see, Steve Rogers. So who is guessed to do what? And now you know, and knowing is half the battle. JK, the non-lavish. Good morning, Dan and Duke Crew starters, exclamation point. Back at you. Pierce, Johnny L, almost as much as Titus Young, who couldn't stay healthy and out of jail. I do think, and I don't know if it was ever confirmed, but I'm guessing Titus Young, my thoughts is that he was suffering with traumatic brain injuries. Pat, let the season begin, exclamation point. OTAs are here. Yes, they are. Pierce, Brett DeWitt, way more likely than Davenport. Hookadoo. Morning, Brett DeWitt. Hutch is going to pick up right where he left off last year. I hope so. Pierce, Coach, how is the skipper rule coming? It's coming along slowly. Bo, Titus had a manic schizophrenic disorder. Brad would have never have drafted him. Yeah, there you go. I didn't know that part. Thank you for that, Bo. Right, morning, Hookadoo. Yes, sir. Thumbs up. JK, if Hutch stays healthy, Davenport will cut some slack. All right, will be cut some slack. JK, like a pillar. There you go. Who doesn't like pillars? Johnny L. Pierce, I forgot about Titus. James, good morning, Duke Crew, and same to you. Pierce, 'tis the season of Ahmed now. Yeah, it might be. Voltron for Davenport for team MVP, calling it now. I like the way you're thinking. Chuck, good morning, Coach Dan and the Duke Crew. Yes, it's great to be a Lions fan. Woo! And yes, it is, my friend. Hopefully it'll be great all season long. Black Jared Jones, one Pride Duke Crew, top of the morning to you. So Samo, laughing out loud, Voltron not happening. We'll find out. All will be revealed in time. All right, guys, it's about that time to bring over our special guest of the day. In fact, he flew in 1 day early just for this. Let's go on over to, you know him, he's the host of the host of the Boss Up, Ball Out podcast, Professor Hitman Steele. Professor Steele, how are you doing today?
What up, dude? What's going on, Dan, man? I'm feeling good, Coach. How's everyone? What up, Duke Crew?
Hey, we got some stuff. We'll just dive into it, man, because I get time is precious. Vegas put out odds for NFL rookies. I can't just say Lions, but all of them. I don't know if you heard me talk about it, but they've got a couple of Lions rookies actually having a bit of an impact. Both guards, a bit of an impact. Ratledge, I think his numbers were that of a starter, basically. And then you've got Isaac Tesla. They were based on those numbers. It would seem he would be taking over at some point, or maybe throughout the entire year, the number 3 spot. Either that or, man, the Lions are going 5 or 4 wide receivers and throwing him the ball a lot. But probably the big one is Ahmed Hussein being up for, at some level, Rookie of the Year. And, man, having basically 8 sacks, all those tackles, getting in the backfield. What do you think of these numbers?
Yeah, pump your brakes a little bit there, Vegas. Not really. If you look at it, in Hassanin, I think it's how you said it, Hassanin.
Hassanin.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't see that. Did look good in coming out for OTAs yesterday. That kid's, I mean, he's an absolute wall. I mean, because he's not tall, but we know he carries a lot of weight, and he's a big dude at 6'2", and what he carries for his frame. But to say he's going to be coming and be like a Rookie of the Year candidate, yeah, I'm not really seeing that. I'm just not, man. The guy who I would say will probably have the most impact as a rookie will be Tyleik Williams with Aleem McNeil still being out for the majority of the beginning of the season, with him probably not coming back until November, December timeframe. So I'm looking at what he can bring on that defensive line. Anybody else, or maybe a Tate Ratledge, if he comes in and he kicks Graham Glasgow to a backup role. But right now, I think the starting offensive line is going to be Decker, and then next to him will be Manu, then Frank, right, of course, and then keep going to the right is going to be Graham Glasgow, and then it's going to be Penei Sewell. It's going to take a lot to get a veteran like Graham Glasgow to the second unit. Just because of the fact that I think they move him back to his more natural position at right guard than left guard. And he struggled last year at left guard, but you look at the previous year, he played well at right guard and backing up Frank Ragnow. So I think that's more of his natural position, is playing next to Penei Sewell. So, yeah, I don't really see this rookie class having this really big, huge impact outside of Tyleik Williams.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Just, my thought has been for a while now, because of how well they draft, some of the pickups they made in free agency may not have been big headlines, but they added quality depth, and the same with this rookie class. But let's also talk about it that Graham Glasgow, just for those who don't know, why do you think potentially he could play much better at the right tackle than right guard versus the left guard?
I think it's just more of his natural position. He's more adept at run blocking at that position, and he's better in pass blocking at the right guard position. If you're a right-handed player and they ask you to, do things on the left side, it's going to take you a while to get there. And I don't think he's ever played that well at left guard. When he was in
Right.
Detroit before, he was a right guard. He was at Denver when he first got there. He was a right guard. That's just more of his natural position. He can play all three interior offensive line positions. You know, he can play center because he's backed up Frank Ragnow before. But I just think that it's just more of his where he's used to playing. I think he even played that some at Michigan. So you look at going back to his career, that's just his more of a natural position. You know, like Penei Sewell, you know, I'm rocking his jersey today. You know, he was a left tackle in college, but actually when in high school he played right tackle as well. He played so you know he knows how to play that. Now he's an all pro at right tackle. I don't even know if they move him to left tackle if to be Decker's replacement and bring someone in on the right side. I think they kind of keep him where he is. So but a player like Graham Glasgow is going to be tough to move. James Allen it's going to be tough to move to the second unit for a rookie. But if anybody's going to be up to the challenge, it's going to be Tate Ratledge.
Okay. So just because we're talking about the rookies, you know, it sounds like Lovett maybe makes the team, you know, special teams or something like that. Maybe like a sixth receiver, fifth receiver, something like that. Do you see any kind of real opportunity for him or Jackson to make the team and make any kind of impact? Because let's be honest, expectations for late round picks typically aren't that high.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for both of those guys coming out of Georgia. You just look at where the units are. I think Jackson may have a chance just because of the depth at safety. But Lovett, he's going to have to kick one of my favorite players out of his position, being our return man, Khalif Raymond. But I don't see that. Khalif Raymond's a worker. Yeah. And he's going to put in the work, and he hasn't lost a step, you know what I'm saying? And he's had this chance to, you know, the offseason to heal from that injury. He looks pretty good out there. So I don't know if he's going to take over for Khalif Raymond, not this year.
It sounds like, you know, you've already kind of mentioned it when it comes to Tyleek Williams. I think most of us are expecting that he'll be one of the starting interior defensive linemen, defensive tackles. What do you think he will bring to the line? What do you think he'll bring to the defense that maybe some of the other veterans don't have?
I mean, he kind of has that. He really has the same skill set as the guy he's replacing. You know, he can get up the middle, pressure, and he's more adept at that 3-tech. You know, because you look at when Aleem McNeil came into the league, he had to learn how to play 3-tech. He was more of a nose tackle at NC State. Well, with Tyleek Williams coming in and playing a 3 technique, so he has that skill set where he can provide pressure up the middle as far as a pass rush, and we know he can what he can do against the run. If you look at some of his tape and some of his highlights, definitely can get out on the edge and set the edge as well. Where he can, you know, you can use him in stunts and twists where he can maintain his gap responsibility if he's pushed outside, or he can maintain it in the interior as well.
You know, one of the bigger ones being mentioned, and I just see Dylan Hunt mention it, is Ian Kennelly. You know, we talk about, or at least a lot of people assume, one of the weaker depth parts of the Lions will be the backups at safety. At the end of the day, do you think that maybe we move some corners to safety? You think Kennelly makes it, Jackson makes it, or makes any kind of big impact there? Maybe that's a better way to word
it. Lawrence Strickland's a guy that I like on his defense. I hate that we lost the other Joseph. You know, he got in
Brandon
trouble.
Joseph.
Yeah, Brandon Joseph. We moved him out because I think he had a promising role as a backup safety as well. You bring in a guy like Jackson, heavy hitter. You know, I'm not saying he's great in coverage, but you know, you look at that depth piece still kind of worries me as far as, you know, a backup safety. Maybe you can can move one of the guys out there as far as maybe Ennis Rakestraw, who played some safety in college as well. You have some guys that you're going to have to mold into that role as a backup safety. I don't think it's going to be something that we already had. Either we don't have it yet on the roster, or the players here, and he's going to have to be taught to play that role.
Real quick, I know we talked about him earlier because he's one of the main topics of the day. Ahmed Hassanin. You know, when you look at all that he brings, we've seen the video of him getting drafted. We all know he's high motor, high energy, but just from a functionality standpoint, where do you think he could improve the most this offseason to maybe impact his rookie year?
Learning proper technique at the NFL level. You know what I'm saying? Being able to collapse the pocket. I don't think he's going to be asked to be a speed rusher. I don't think he's that type of player. I think he's more of a, make sure he can set the edge and make sure he can collapse the pocket and push players toward whoever the speed rusher is on the other side of the line.
So, Professor, let me ask you: put on your educational cap. At the end of the year, what would you consider statistically a great season for him, or a good season expectation for fans for him this year?
Maybe 1 or 2 sacks, probably about about 10 to 15 tackles. Okay. I'm not expecting much from him. And I'm not trying to run on his parade, but you have a lot of guys in front of him. You got to realize where this young man is on the depth chart. And I don't want to put it out there where I'm looking at him and I'm just saying that, he's not going to be able to perform. I'm just saying that he's got some guys in front of him. He's going to have to work his way up. He's going to have to work his way actually onto the roster.
Correct.
I mean, just to be honest with you, I mean, look where this guy was drafted, man. I mean, it's very possible that this guy could end up on the practice squad. Just got to be honest with you. I know we love him. We love his story and everything, and it sounds good and it's feel good, and it's a Disney movie and all that good stuff like that. But you have to look at it realistically, where this young man is going to have to work his way onto the roster.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I mean, just because you look at, to me, again, always referencing the depth of the team. As a coach, I would love this situation because the difference between a lot of the starters and backups, or even the second and third string, there ain't a whole big gap in some spots. So every day in practice, every preseason game, the guys are just going to have to go for it if they even want to make the team. But now the positive side is you're going to make everybody better because everybody's got to keep going up and away. Right. Let's talk about one of the other fan favorites real quick. His number is pretty good. I don't have it in front of me anymore. I unclicked it, but I want to say it was 8 touchdowns for Isaac Tesla. Something like 400 some yards or something like that. As a rookie, if he puts up anything like that, do you think all of a sudden fans look back at that trade and say, Brad Holmes, brilliant?
If he can get those numbers, that'll be absolutely phenomenal for him for a rookie season, based on what our offensive weapons look like. I mean, you look at just like the guys that are in front of the young defensive end. Look at the guys who are putting up numbers in front of Tesla. I mean, you got St. Brown, and then you have a guy like Jameson Williams, and then you have the young man Sam Laporta, Sam I Am getting it in, and then we're not even talking about the guy who had the most touchdowns in the league last year, and Jahmyr Gibbs. So we haven't even touched that guy yet, who had a phenomenal year catching the ball out of the backfield, especially in the red zone. That guy was killing linebackers, in the red zone for touchdown scores. And you still got Tim Patrick, you still got Khalif Raymond, it's a lot of people ahead of Isaac Tesla. Hell, you even got Brock Wright. I mean, you look at that, and I'm not trying to crap on the young players parade. I'm just trying to keep realistic expectations on the rookie class. But if there's one player that he may be able to get past, it may be Tim Patrick. But the only thing with Tim Patrick is that he plays a different style offense at the receiver position than Tesla, where he's a bigger body. He can box out. He's in that middle of the field. And Tesla's going to have to learn that. I know he's played some slot, but like Tim Patrick knows how to play on the outside and the inside, where Tesla has to learn how to play on the outside. So it's going to be some growing pains for the young man. He may have a better sophomore season. I would suggest that he would have a better sophomore season than he would have a rookie season.
I'm with you there, because even if you look at some of the greatest Lions receivers in history, so Herman Moore, Calvin Johnson, Johnny Morton, you can go through a list of them. They've had some good ones. The rookie years typically aren't breakout years. You could even look at St. Brown. It took him until late his rookie year to really start, figuring things out a little bit here and there. All right. Well, I want to thank you for jumping on today. Get a day early. I wanted to get you on these topics to get your thoughts. So why don't you go ahead and give yourself a shout out to everybody where they can find you, help support you, and see you on when you put out your shows, what the professor's got to bring to the table.
Yeah, definitely, man. You can definitely check me out on the Boss Up Fallout podcast weekdays. Well, Mondays and Wednesdays, recorded shows, live shows on Friday. And when we get into the season, we'll be going 4 days a week, of course. Monday and Wednesday lives on Tuesdays and Fridays. So come check us out, man. Me and my man LL Coutons and my other big fella, Coach Mike Jones, down there in Jackson, Michigan. We do a great job of bringing you guys our Lions content, and kind of different. Of course, it's more of a what do you call that? We call it natural debate on our show. So we have some fun bringing you guys Detroit Lions news and rumors, man. Yeah, you want to take a class? You know what I'm saying? You want to be in Professor Steele's class? Going over to University of Maryland University Global Campus, man. Come on, sign up for a class. You know what I'm saying? Just check me out over there, man. But I'm gonna bring you instead of schooling you in the classroom, I definitely will school you over there on the Boss Up All Out podcast anytime you want to get some education on Lions news.
All right, he is the host of the most. He's the only man with a 300-foot tall statue in front of Ford Field. So go check him out. Host of the Boss Up Ball Up podcast. Again, always thank you, Kurt Steele, for making a little time on your day to join the Duke Crew.
Hey, man. Thanks, man. Hey, Duke Crew. Check you guys out later. We'll talk to you soon, Dan.
See you next time. All right, getting back to the comment section here real quick, just because I saw a couple comments about it, but I couldn't really read them. Hey, for those who don't know, who haven't watched the show, I'm terrible at pronouncing names. I'm terrible at spelling names. There's a reason why I won 3 straight years worst journalist in print, and I take great pride in that, because I am not a very good speller, and I'm even worse at pronouncing names. I don't ever mean it in a rude way. It's just, hey, that's how my brain interprets words, and I have to really spend a lot of time learning how to pronounce things correctly, and it does take a while. So pretty pleased with Mountain Dew on top. Don't ever take offense if I murder a name. I've been murdering names either in print or video media for over 30 years, and I don't mean anything by it. Hopefully you get a kick out of it, if nothing else. All right, Robert, it's so fun to be a Detroit Lions fan now! Exclamation point. Rip, same old Lions. I like the way you're thinking. Bryant, would you bring back Tracy Walker to backup safety? Bryant, it's almost funny you say that. Would I bring him back to be a safety? No. Would I bring him back to be a linebacker? Yes. Especially if you get pop about 8 to 10 pounds on him. I actually thought that's something the Lions should have done when he was here, because he could do that. His coverage skills, though, were atrocious, and that's my opinion. I thought he was a great captain, thought he was a great teammate, great at being a Lion, a whole lot of good things. But one of the things I learned in coaching is find out what people are good at and have them do that. Don't force them to do things they're terrible at. Same with Jeff Okudah back in the day. I thought he should have been moved into a safety spot. I think he would have been a very good safety. The couple times they did it with MCDC, I want to say down in Dallas one year, the game we nearly won down in Dallas. I think it was MCDC's first year here. Okudah more or less played safety. He was phenomenal, off the charts good. It was probably his best game as a pro. They tried to put him back in corner, and it's just not something he was good at. I think that's a great question, though, Brian. Hookadoo, I'm going to try to make it up there for Miles Barker. All right, Miles Barker, laughing out loud, Robert. James, the Lions will keep Khalif on the roster. I think so, too. But there's going to be a lot of competition there. Hassanin Madley, Ahmed Hassanin, he will rise up soon after the full camp and get and gaining some technique by the best coaches. Lions have, you'll be surprised, Doctor. Could be, yeah. And I think, and again, I can only speak as a coach. For those who don't know, I've coached for 35 years or so now. Here's what I'd say. When I see him, I see the athleticism. I see the right personality type. That's something that you can't teach. You got to have the right personality. And I see the desire. Those three components are very powerful components for any athlete, any sport, male, female, whatever, to work with. Now, since he's got enough of the athleticism, now you combine with the other two. I think if the Lions coaches really are given some time to work with the kid, he could be something. I'm not going to say he's going to get a Hall of Fame career or anything like that, but I think he could be an impactful player. And, if nothing else, a sound rotational player for the Lions or any NFL team, which means he's probably got a long career, maybe somewhere in the range of 7 to 10 years. Let's see, Miles Meyer. Hey, no kidding. You think that? Question mark. Hookadoo. James, hopefully they can bring back Jalen Reeves-Maben on special teams and put Khalif there as well. I hope so, too. I always liked Jalen Reeves-Maben. I thought, man, situational, he's pretty good on defense. Again, put a player in a position to succeed. Don't ask him to do stuff they can't do. That never works out for anybody, in my opinion. Trimmer, Walk Like an Egyptian by Disney. There you go. Could be a movie coming out. Hookadoo. If it all works out, I will, Miles Marker. So a thumbs up, Silver Surfer. Yes, I like Khalif, but he really is a player who is not contributing much. Often when he starts producing, he gets injured. Khalif is a little injury prone. The last few years, he has been a little injury snake bitten. Gary Hassan Ben Per, his brother Corey Beish. All right, I'll work on it again. For those, I don't mean anything by it. I mispronounce my own name at times. I even misspell it at times. Nobody Scapler. There are quite a few Lions this year that are going to move up on the all-time Detroit Lions statistical markers. I'm looking forward to the players that have been becoming the greatest Lions in history. Yeah, we've got some guys that really can move up there. Even hard maybe for me to say, but even Jared Goff, in the short time he's been here, he may end up making it to like the number 4 or something like that, the quarterback of all time for the team, amongst others. Bo, keeping it real, Man of Steel, exclamation point. Attila the Hun, Ian Kennelly is better than Tracy Walker. In coverage, I would say it would be easy for him to supersede Walker in that regard. I really like Tracy Walker. It's just asking him to do, again, something he just isn't capable of doing. That's tough. It'd be like asking Aiden Hutchinson to go out there and defend the best wide receiver in the league or something like that. It's just not going to work. Trim Reaper, preach, Professor Steele, stay strong. Michael, it sounds like Kurt is raining hard on everyone except Williams, hating on every pick except for the first runner. I think he's just bringing down expectations. Here's what I would say. Again, referencing coaching. Whenever in the preseason reporters ask, hey, what's your predictions for your team this year? I say, man, if it's, whatever the sport is, we're 0 whatever. We're 0 whatever until we win a game. Then we're going to go for 2 games. I don't want to say, hey, we're battling for the championship. We're going to do whatever. I want expectations to be as low as possible to try to force the media to back off us, but also the players to feel like they got to work harder just to achieve something. That's just at least what I do. Not saying it's right or wrong, just what I do. Kerry Hassanin, per his brother Corey, thank you for that. Thank you, Kerry. I'll keep working on it, by the way. Miles Bar, Hassanin Madley, he'll need time for development. Lions are a tough, gritty team, but we've high hopes. Yes, we do. We've got some high hopes, and I will say this. We've got one of the best coaching staffs at developing players. Doesn't mean it's going to work out for everybody. There's no one way to do anything correctly, but I do think Ahmed Hassanin is going to be developed very intelligently by the coaching staff. And who knows, maybe this year, maybe Vegas right. Maybe he will have some sort of breakout year. I would say, man, he's got 0 stats right now. Let's start him off with just getting 1 stat, then go for 2 stats, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I'd say the program, great show as always. Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much. Glad to see you in the chat. James, I'm glad that the Lions picked up the 5th-year option of both Hutch and Williams. Hopefully the Lions can take care of them both. I think they will in time. If it's me, though, James, I'm doing it sooner versus later just because we all know it, man. The longer you wait, those price tags, they're only going one way. Miles Barker, Gary, rhymes with Wolverine. I'm down with that. The Trim Reaper laughing. Miles Marker, thank you. Kurt Hookadoo, Mr. Hassanin, I've been impressed with your son since draft day. Yeah, hard not to be impressed with the guy, man. He's everything about him so far has just been up and away. Kerry agreed. Ian is better than Walker, maybe. Trim Reaper laughing out loud. Poor coach. Hey, it happens, man. Worst things in life, right? Silver Server. Hey, Madeline, don't get mad. People who learn how to read in English have a hard time with phonetic languages, like many African languages, Arabic, Italian, Japanese, and so forth. Have a good laugh for it. Yeah, man. Let me tell you, I murder every language. I speak. Some Spanish, some Japanese, some Chinese. And let me tell you, I mispronounce everything in every language. Let's see. Henry, it's time for me to go. Happy travels, my friends. Woo! Back at you. Have a great day. James Anslone will being a cap casualty if either Hutch or JMO signs a new extension contract. There could be some evidence of that. I don't know the difference personally, what he wants versus what the Lions are offering. But at some point, maybe it's a sign he's going to be, 31 here pretty soon. The Lions, at the end of those contracts, he'll be butting up on 32. Maybe they think that next year they're just drafting a replacement or they already have one. Who knows, man? Gary, I think our Detroit Lions deserve a woo. Hey, they should get woos all the time. But just for you, let's give them a 1, 2, and I got to scroll up on the screen. And will you go? Let's see, get back at it. Trim Reaper. Hot take Lions should trade Monty for Ray Davis. Ooh, the sun god and all the Ray. All right, I'm down with that. Silver Server, we are trying to get offended around here, question mark, for names. Man, come on, question mark. I'm afraid we'll have to wake up from this stuff hopefully soon. We literally looking for fiction. Hey, yeah, and again, if apologies if anybody feels bad about my pronunciations. It just, sometimes I struggle with that stuff. Honestly, Motown Mitch, I remember when Ravens Maven was drafted, I said it was better draft pick than Davis. Imagine the laughs I got. It happens, man. See, Cynthia Hassanin will be in all right, let's see, Phil, Van Thornton. Yes, I'll go with that. Good morning, Cynthia. Nobody's Capler. Maybe if we trade away and Anzalone, we get our 2 third-round picks back. Maybe I'd be during the trade deadline halfway through the year. Who knows? We shall find. Cynthia, I concur. Exclamation point. Hassanin will be Rookie of the Year. Let's hope so. That would be great, wouldn't it? The Trim River. Really hope Ahmed makes the cut, though, and eventually turns out to be a great pro player. I think he will, man. I think he'll make the cut now. Where his pro career goes, that's going to come down to him and their coaches, et cetera, et cetera. See, Cynthia, morning, Phil, Kerry, good call, Coach. Whoa, Walker's a good linebacker. Yeah, I thought he would have been. Hassanin Madley, I am Ahmed Hassanin's father, watching you from Cairo, Egypt. Thank you for a great show. Hey, anytime, man. And again, I'll keep working on the pronunciation. Apologies for getting it wrong. But Cairo, Egypt, that's a great place to be, man. I've been there a few times. Good place. Some good basketball there, by the way. Trim Reaper, Johnny Gaz set a date yet for Lions Talk Live? He and I talk a couple of times a month. It just comes down to schedules. I think I tried to get him on this weekend, but he had, one of his kids, I want to say baseball tournaments or something like that. So it just didn't work out. Miles Meyer, laughing out loud. Ian, it's pronounced Ian, Coach. It happens, man. Proving your point. Yeah, I mispronounce everything. Bo, Coach is an equal opportunity mispronouncer. I'm down with that. Brent is laughing. Pastor Ben, hey, Coach Dan, just bought tickets for the November 2nd game at Ford Field. Really excited. What a show. Hey, go have a great time. Hopefully you and the friends, whoever you're going with, have a phenomenal time at the game. Hookadoo, glad you have you and the Duke crew, Mr. Hassan, our Lions Roar. I'm down with that. Yeah, thank you again for joining the show. DM5 TV, hopefully things work out with AA. I hope so too. He's got true grit and a Lions favorite. He is, man. Remember, not everybody liked him originally. Now he really has become kind of intricate to this franchise. Trim Reaper, I haven't seen much of Johnny lately. Probably just doing dad stuff, it sounds like. That and work. Pastor Ben flying in from Arizona. Go Lions. Fly on in, my friend. Trim River, good morning, Mr. Hassanin. Although, good morning to you. Silver Server, if Ahmed gets Rookie of the Year, the Lions will surely win the Super Bowl. I love the way you're thinking. All right, guys, if there is breaking news later today, I'll get it over to you as quick as possible. Before you check out, if you would be so kind, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit all the buttons. Be a good human being. Do something kind for someone you don't know. And, hey, we'll see you all in the next Lions Talk Live.
Excuse me, sir, would you... Donations to Reverend Moon? Jews for Jesus?
Read about Jehovah's Witness? How about Buddhism?
Of Jerry's kids? Oh, yeah. Scientology?
Or nuclear power?